for observational drawing, I believe everyone can produce a very good result if they follow a good process. What is the process? I'm going to show you my process, start from the beginning to the end with this drawing of a squash. The first thing we want to do is to put a rough shape. It's just think about the whole shape, how it looks like. So it's important to draw it at the beginning. At this stage, you're involved with your feeling, your first impression when you're looking at the objects. Even though the proportion may not be correct, but that is just the next step, right? And maybe the directions are not correct. So first thing you're thinking about is that where I'm going to put the whole thing, right? That's the whole thing, really rough. So keep the line as it's going to be the guideline assisting you to moving on to the next step. Okay, what's the next thing I'm going to do? I'm going to just draw a little center line to see how the direction of this, the motion of that. And on this part, it's going like this. On this part, it's going like this direction, right? And on the last part, it's going this direction. So kind of like we draw the inside the bone of this object to see how it's going, right? This is going to help you actually to do the next step of the correction. So let's see. We're going to divide this into 3 parts. Actually, this one part right here. So we're going to do it in 3 parts. The second part is right here. And the third part is about here. Like that. By the way, I'm using this vine charcoal stick. You can get this from the art store. It's a very simple drawing too. Okay, now we're going to compare how about compare this part with this part to see what is the proportion. Looking at the big proportion first. And let's do a little measurement. I'm going to take the longer part and moving on here. This is about a little bit less than half. Less than half. It's about this much. So I'm going to take this part and move it here. It's about correct. And now thinking about in this, the last part over here is about only half of this part. So you can get an idea of the between the big shapes, how they relate together. That's important to go through the checklist. Okay, check. It'll become a bit more relaxing as the whole drawing process. You have something to go through. Okay, now we're gonna look into inside of this part. I want to find out what's the proportion of this between this and that. One thing's already for sure. This one already is sure. We already designed it. We decide how big it is based on the size of the whole shape, right? So now, based on this, how we're gonna find the width? And that's easy. You're gonna take this part, rotate it, and measure it on the real object to find out whether or not it's half of it, less than half of it, or maybe 2/3 or 3/3. Let's take a look. I'm gonna take the part, the width, which is the longest. I'm gonna rotate it. Less than 2/3. A little bit less than 2/3. Okay, a little bit less than 2/3. We divide this into 3. Now a little bit less than 2/3. It's about this much. Okay, this is 2/3. Right? So a little bit less than 2/3 from my observation. So I'm gonna take this part again. I'm gonna rotate it. So this is if I'm going to keep the top over here. And the bottom would be right here. So this is good. The whole thing on the top over here looks like an oval. So I'm going to draw a little bit oval shape like this. Right? Now we come into this shape. This shape, just look at the outline. It curves like this. Is this a curve a little bit like that? Like a little gooseneck, right? Coming over here. Just compare this width with the whole thing on this shape. Let's take a look. I'm gonna take the width over there and measure it. Oh, a little bit less than half. Less than half. I'm gonna see that this part is less than half. I take that and compare with that. It looks like it should be a little bit thicker. I'm going to expand that on the top a little bit, expand it on the bottom a little bit. Now a little bit more proper to the objects. And actually this part is smoothly connect into this object. Okay, now it's the last part. And this object, we can call it is a constructed shape. And okay, now we can combine with 1, 2, 3 to become one big object. Right? Right now we're ignoring all the texture, the smaller colors on the shape. Just focus on the big shape. Okay, now what we're gonna do, and we're also probably gonna include a little bit catch the shadow over here. Like that. Let's talk a little bit about lighting. And we're gonna talk more in the lighting specifically in the next class. What's the next step? The next step is just fun, right? What we're gonna do, we're gonna focus on here 1 inch at a time, right? Okay, here you go. Move a little bit. And this is the time you spend the time to focus and observe the smaller details going through. Before then, we're just laying there the ground for this step. It's just moving over and little bump come up over here and come back down and loose that softly and move a little bit here. And then slowly moving over. Okay, let's see. There's a little bit different over here. Come and a little bit come out and in, and a little curve coming over here. Now we come to the bottom, and this is the stem connected there. Okay, put over here, and a little by little, a little bit come up and a little come in, and I think start moving in. Start over here, good. Then connect all the way over here. Now this is good. Now we come here, we can soften the shape a little bit, and let's say a little bit and coming in. Oh, that's good. And a little shape at the end. So before this step, we never pay attention to such small areas. So that's why we are drawing from the outside, gradually going into smaller and smaller. And oh, this actually is not in the right place. And you can move it a little bit more. I think it's right here. It's more correct. Oh, this is good. Now, we're also going to draw a little bit more over here. This looks like a little shape coming over here. And a little shape over here. We can add it there. And a little shape over here, a little darker colors over here. Those we can add to it. Okay, basically the light coming from everywhere and the top, right? No light coming from the bottom. So the up here is a little bit lighter. So we can actually shade it, the bottom here, a little bit darker. So it make it look like the bottom has less light, and this is correct. We're gonna shade it a little bit over here. Just use the side of the charcoal. Okay, if you shade it like this, you only draw with the tip. If you draw like this on the side, you're actually drawing with a big surface touching the paper. And over here, you can draw a little bit, come out like this. So leave that a little bit lighter. And going through over here, a little texture. Good. And then we're gonna put a little darker area underneath, which is the catch the shadow. The catch the shadow is the absence of light, that because the object blocking the light going into the top of the table. Okay, like that. And the objects are almost there, right? We may not be able to get to all those textures, but we can give a little suggestions to see how rough the surface is, use the charcoal stick. It helps easily convey those information. And I can draw a little bit over here, a little bit over there, control how much the charcoal actually touching the surface of the paper. I'm gonna move a little bit over here. So enjoy it and have fun. Okay, maybe a little bit texture over here like this. Right? I'm gonna use a nitty eraser. Thank you. And I'm going to just light up a little smaller areas. Okay? So what I'm gonna do over here first, you're gonna see a little bit over here. And very easy. You can mold the nitty eraser any shape you want. Right? Like a little tip, I'm gonna take out a little shape over here and give a little shape over there. Anything you contribute to the drawing now would become the characters, their object that you capture. So a little bit over here, I also need to draw a little skinnier white shape. Or you can say light shape. There, it's good. And maybe have a little light shape over here. And the top over here, I can add a little light shape over here, like that. Right? It's good. It's good. Now over here, I can add a little light shape. So you can see that we call this eraser, but it's actually, you're more thinking about this. There's another drawing too, to draw the light shape. Over here coming through, and then on the tip over here, let's see. Maybe over here, have a little light shape, like that. Let me see. A little light shape over here, we can see that. A little few dot over here, and so on. So this is only considered the beginning of the drawing. And you can keep moving forward and going. In the future, we'll also talk about how we're going to treat the background. So the background would help to enhance the main object. But it's not going to be today in this drawing. So we can remove that other things around. So this consider the end of this drawing. All right. So you can see that every step in this process is not difficult. The difficult part for most the beginners is that can you enforce yourself to going through the same process? If you enjoyed these lessons, please give it a thumbs up and share with your friends. If this is your first time here, please subscribe and turn on notification. I will see you in my next lesson.